In today's video I'll show you how to make Khloe Kardashian cheesecake, and obviously she is a mega star with lots of money and she has famous chefs working for her, and she decided to share her cheesecake bomb recipe of her cheesecake. This cheesecake is incredible, the best cheesecake I ever had, and doesn't even compare to the one from the shop. The best part is simple ingredients and you can make it at home, and it won't be your first and last time you made it because it's that good. It's delicious. So I'm gonna eat my cheesecake. If you want a recipe, I will show you how to make it step by step. It's heaven. Okay, before we start, for a cheesecake we need 20 centimeters non-stick springform cake tin. This one is from Tesco, I think. You need one of those so you can open this easily after cheesecake is cooked. So you can open it up and take the cheesecake out. Then we need a mixing bowl, of course, simple mixing bowl, hand mixer, and some oil. Because we're gonna do a water bath for our cheesecake. So it will be perfect cheesecake. Okay, first we're gonna start with the crust for our cheesecake. So we'll need to preheat the oven to 150 fan first, and then we'll get started with the crust. We'll need about 2 cups, so 450 grams of biscuits. You can basically crush them with your hands, you can crush them with something, or you can basically mix them in a mixer so they are nicely crushed, all the same size. So 450 or 2 cups. I will mix them in a mixer, in a hand mixer. So it will be nice and quick. To this we're gonna add 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I've got the butter in here, I'm just gonna melt it first. You can put it in microwave or you can put it in a pan and melt it. 5 tablespoons will go into our crackers. And then we're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. That's all we need, 3 ingredients to make a crust. I'm gonna melt my butter in a pan, nice and quick. I will need obviously more than 1 pack, that's why I got 2. There's only 316 here, and you need the crust to fill the pan. Okay, our butter is melted. I will leave it like this because the rest will melt with the heat anyway, so I will switch it off now. Okay, I think I've got enough biscuit because I'm gonna use 411 because my tin is smaller than hers, so that will be enough. So 411 for me. I've got Russell hops. I just bought this mixer, hand mixer. It's good. Is it the best? Not the best. Because when I put it down, you can't put it in heat, it doesn't stand, it just collapses over time. So would I recommend it? Not really. I had this one before, it was much better, but it will do the job. So we're just gonna mix it to get nice crust. I'm gonna mix my biscuits and I'll show you how we're gonna look after. Don't worry if they are proper mixed up, because we're gonna add the butter and it's fine. It's just going for a crust. Okay, to this we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar and 5 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay, my crust was still very dry when I added only 5 tablespoons of the butter, so I added now 10, and now it should be fine. Your crust has to be kind of sticky, like this, not completely dry out, otherwise it won't form a crust. So we're gonna put it straight to the tin. This is non-stick tin, so we're just gonna throw it in and basically pat it down like this to form it. It should stick in and form the crust. You can see in here it's nice base we have formed. In here I don't like too big of a crust or base, so you can see how much I've got it. It's not huge, it's just okay amount, so I chosen not to use all that crust. In this case, if you've got a smaller form and you don't want too much crust or base, 1 pack of biscuit will be completely fine. I've used a butter, half of the butter, and the butter was 250 grams. So I've used 125 grams for this. It's sufficient. You don't want to add more butter, otherwise it's going to be, you know, too falling apart and off when wet. So it has to form a base, but not that it's falling apart or not that it's not falling. you know, not keeping together. So this is going to be oven now for 10 minutes. If you chose to, you want bigger crust, make a bigger crust, more of it. I like my crust to be thin. So going to be oven for 10 minutes only, 150 fan oven. Now we're gonna do cheese filling, and what we need, of course, cream cheese. You need to make sure you've got the original cream cheese, so that's Philadelphia. Fresh creamy taste, this is original one, and that's the one you after. I will leave the ingredients and recipe in a first comment under the video. To cream cheese we're gonna add, after mixing it nice and smooth, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I've got Madagascar vanilla extract in here, really nice. And then we've got some granulated sugar. We will need about 1 cup of sugar. To this we're gonna add just 3 tablespoons of flour. The best flour will be ready sifted flour. You can sift your flour, it's up to you, or use the good quality flour for cakes. So I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons. To this we're gonna add 1 cup of sour cream, and then 4 eggs. But with the eggs we're gonna add 1 egg at a time, mix it, add another egg, mix it, add another egg, and so on. So that's our cheese filling. Very nice, simple, but very delicious. So let's do it. 200 grams of granulated sugar. We'll need about 240 grams of sour cream. We'll need about 1 kilogram, 130 of cream cheese altogether. Of course we'll measure everything the right amounts. Crust after 10 minutes, we'll take it out straight away from the oven. Cream cheese is very common to be chosen for a cheesecake in America. So those American, very famous, you know, New York cheesecakes, they usually got a base with cream cheese. And that's the one. Very creamy texture. Delicious. Highly recommended. Okay, I've got my cream cheese in here, and it's 1 kilogram, 104. I've got 4 packs of Philadelphia cream cheese. So those are family packs. There's small one and big one. This one is a family pack. It's a big one because in one there is a 280. Not necessarily there is always 280 in one pack. There might be less. Most of the time it's less. But 4 packs of them sort you out. So yeah, 1 kilogram, 108. Now we're gonna mix it with a hand mixer to a smooth consistency before we add other ingredients. Okay, our cream cheese is mixed well. To be honest, my mixer is really bad. It's a hand mixer. Russell Hobbs, not recommended. I used to have what I had, I can't remember what company I had a mixer from. It was incredible and lasted me 10 years. This one is rubbish. To this we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of Madagascar vanilla extract. I'm gonna mix it well. To this we're gonna add 200 grams of granulated sugar. Got 200 grams of sour cream in here. Okay, we have added only 200 grams or 200 milliliters of sour cream. This one is different type of sour cream, it's 30% one. So I'm using less cheese, so I just used one of those and it's sufficient for me. And now we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of flour. Now we're gonna add 4 eggs, one at a time, mix it, one, next, mix it, next, mix it. Okay, our cheese filling is finished. We're gonna add it to our pan now. Nice and creamy, and you want to make sure it's all spreaded nicely, equally. Remember that your crust, which you've got on the bottom, shouldn't mix with your cream filling. If it's mixing and it's coming off, and keep mixing and it's falling off, that means you haven't added enough butter and it's not, it didn't come together. That's why we're baking it for 10 minutes, for it to be solid. And if it's not solid, next time just add more butter and it will be sorted. But not much you can do at the moment, but try to make sure it's divided and not mixing up together with the rest of the filling. That's how we're gonna bake a cheesecake. We're gonna put a cake tin with a cheesecake, water, cold water in here, and then we're gonna bake it in the oven. And that's what's called water bath, to prevent cracks in the cheesecake. It's called water bath to prevent cracks in your cheesecakes. And it's used by Top Chefs. Cake tin we need to cover with foil all around it. I'll show you in a second how it's going to look. It's a cheesecake, so that's how we have to cover it, all around it. Okay, I have put in here half of a liter of water, cold one. And now I'm going to transfer the cheesecake and bake it for 1 hour and 5 minutes. It looks like water bath. As I said, this will prevent the cracks on the cheesecake. After 1 hour and 5 minutes, we open the oven like this and leave it for about 1 hour in here, and then we can put it in the fridge for at least 4 hours before we can cut it. It's a cheesecake. It has been in the oven and with the oven open after baking 1 hour. Now it has cooled down. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for about 4 hours, and we'll cut it down. Cheesecake from the fridge. And you take the foil first. So as you can see here, the foil is still around it, and we'll just open up and try a slice. Open it in here, but before you open this part in here, you need to, with a knife, just cut it around it so it's gonna come out nicely. Because I cut it in here straight away, open it up in here, it has parted a little bit in here. So before you open it, cheesecake, make sure with a knife you cut its sides nicely all around it so it can come out fine. Okay, our cheesecake looks delicious, as you can see in here, better than in any restaurant you can get. So Khloe Kardashian was right, it's a bomb cheesecake. You won't buy something like this in the shops because nothing compared to this. I had this cheesecake before, obviously, and I would recommend to serve this with either raspberry sauce or with caramel sauce on top. It would be incredible. So up to you, or you can just have it plain. I'm gonna have plain with a cup of coffee right now, so we're gonna cut a slice. I can confirm I had not had a better cheesecake than this. As you can see in here, I'm glad I didn't make a bigger crust because that's enough. I want to taste my cheesecake. Well, it's the best cheesecake I ever had. And it's not the first time I made it. Khloe Kardashian cheesecake, highly recommended.